Hello, welcome back. Right now, we're continuing the MSQ through a dungeon. We left a passage to dash it, confirming barriers and identity. Oh. Love little dances.
What have we here?
'Tis not unlike a Hunnish alchemical furnace in design.
Well, there is one way we might find out.
Stop! You mustn't touch it.
Vritra! Oh, my apologies. Should I continue calling you Varshan?
You may address me as you wish. My nature is no longer a secret. Still, this is not a setting I imagined for our union. Surely you've not entered these ruins as common looters.
Would that we could deny your accusations, but I fear you're not far from the truth.
Great Vritra, might we beseech thee to explain the nature of this strange contrivance?
It was crafted by our alchemists at my behest, for the purpose of sealing something away.
I never played endwalker, but I have a feeling I know what scene this is, so I'm gonna be, like, sealing away what exactly.
Perhaps I should simply show you. I have lifted the seal, if only for the moment, by an authority only I possess.
A planar fissure?
No, my friend. Small though it may be, this is a functioning gate into the void.
I expect you have more questions. Can such a tiny portal truly be so dangerous? I came here in plain search of something that might further my research. I did not anticipate a fully functioning void gate. Even in the learned halls of Charlian, 'tis forbidden to throw wide the gates to the abyss. The peril is far too great. Void gates and fissures are much the same thing in practice, in the sense that both allow passage between the source and the 13th. The difference in terminology refers to the circumstances of their creation. A fissure is an incidental tear in the fabric between worlds, whereas a void gate is the product of deliberate action. I suspect this is the latter, judging by the elaborate mechanism put in place to control it. To think that our search for material riches would lead to this priceless discovery. That swirling emptiness, it puts me in the mind of old friends, not to mention old foes. Perhaps I might linger a touch longer.
I must admit, I am deathly curious to know how a void gate came to be hidden in the depths of these ruins.
To tell that tale, we must first peer far to the south, and even further into memory. An age 5 millennia passed when the Algan Empire sent an invading force to the shores of Merasidia. The southern people rallied around the commanding figures of Bahamut and Tiamat and fought fiercely to repel the would-be conquerors. With Bahamut's defeat, however, the tide turned against them. Desperate to seize any advantage, the Mercidians resorted to summoning primal entities.
I remember these guys.
In response, Emperor Zande forged a covenant with the Cloud of Darkness, sovereign among the all-devouring denizens of the Void. Thus bolstered by icons on one side and Void Scent on the other, the two armies clashed in a battle of unspeakable carnage. So much death, so much loss.
I consider myself well versed in that period of history, yet you speak as one who witnessed it happen.
Indeed, I did. I heard Tiamat's roar of defiance and sped toward that war-torn land. Along with my sibling, Ashdaya. We dragons are not male or female as men are wont to classify, but elder sister is the closest a mortal tongue can come to describing what she meant to me. I was the last of our brood to hatch, and Ashdaya cared for me where my sire could not. Thus I was with her when Tiamat roared. I was with her when she journeyed south, and I was with her when she fought against the Void-sent hordes. Yet no matter how many of their vile fiends we cast down, more rose from the abyss to take their place. Faced with an unwinnable war of attrition, Ashdaya risked her all on a final gamble. She plunged through the Void Gate itself to strike at the root of their strength. I tried to follow in her wake, determined to lend what aid I could. But even as I came upon Alag's glittering tower, I saw the rift close behind her. And Ashdaya has been lost to us ever since.
I find I must retract my earlier claim of historical knowledge. Nowhere in the Crystal Tower's archives did I see mention of such noble sacrifice.
That does not surprise me. To Allagan eyes, it must have seemed as if a lone dragon, driven to madness, simply dove through the gate and did not return. For my part, I spent long years searching for the means to reunite with Ashdaya. Until I could search no more. Until Alag was dust, and the art to open a void gate large enough to accommodate a dragon forever lost.
Yet you have the beginnings of a gate right here, under the control of a harnessed device.
My discovery came before Radzat was founded. Though I scoured the lands for a method to cross the rift, it was beneath the sea that I chanced to find a natural planar fissure. It was, however, far too narrow to admit a worm's bulk. Only after our city rose upon the rock, and I could enlist the aid of our talented alchemists, did matters take a favorable turn. Their dedication was beyond reproach. Tirelessly they worked to expand the fissure, and after decades of toil, it finally grew to a size that a child might pass through.
Not long ago, you told us that you called out to your kin, that Ashdaya's answer was silence. I suspect the conclusion to your tale is not a joyful one.
With hope in my heart, I used the simulacrum to cross the threshold. But no, I did not find her. What I found was a host of Void-sent, clamoring around the opening they had sensed. 'Twas but a moment, but enough. I had no choice but to retreat and allow the portal to contract once more.
The gate was a threat to your people. You had to decide between endangering Razathan and abandoning your sister. And you chose the latter.
'Twas not that thy sibling scorned thy call. 'Twas that she was trapped beyond a barrier through which neither roar nor dragon may pass. Even now, in the desolate world of the 13th.
I can scarce imagine your pain, yet it was wise not to linger in that place. Too long a sojourn, and even a being of your power risks being warped into a creature of the void. You've seen this phenomenon before, when we stepped into the darkness.
I remember when Nero turned purple. That was weird.
Turned purple? Well, yes. His wounds had allowed the void's corruption to enter his body and twist his ether. Had it been allowed to progress much longer, I presume he would have been fully transformed.
Then there is little hope for Ashdaya.
Ah, no. I hadn't meant to. I speak only of possibilities. The scales of the first brood are extraordinarily resistant to ethereal fluctuations. They are the protective talisman's core components after all, and even the corruption I described would struggle to overcome. Of course. With the warding scale in one's possession, one could conceivably survive a stay in the 13th without being warped by its energies.
Be that as it may, it is too late to rescue my sister. 5,000 years too late. And now countless others look to me for guidance and protection. So when I sensed intruders in the ruins, I came only to ensure that the gate remained closed. That, and to secure the treasure, of course. I wish only to forget the rest.
Where she can study that. Millennia have passed since I last saw her, but I see Adaja in memory still, clear and vivid. The 13th, what chaos must consume that world? Vitra's grief for a lost sibling will be no mystery to Estinian. His hath been a life entwined with sorrow even before he became host to Nidhogg's essence. I wonder how one of the first brood could simply vanish and leave no trace of her passage. Now I have my answer. So they managed not only to explain the fissure, but also manipulate it as one might a gate. Astonishing. Is there any chance I could learn of how this feat was accomplished? I will tell you what I can. First, however, I must return to the High Crucible and arrange to replace the Guardians you so handily destroyed. It will not do to leave the gate undefended. Ah, my apologies. We were perhaps a touch zealous in our rush to uncover the vault's secrets. If the constructs can be repaired, we would be happy to offer our assistance. That will not be necessary. Much as I retain spare vessels for myself, we keep duplicate guardians on hand for such eventualities. In any case, we should return to Ratsat Han. love this song. Twas the most enjoyable expedition, for I am grateful. As for mine evaluation, I shall impress upon the labyrinths that our treasure vault is incomplete without daunting sentinels to test the mettle of any would-be intruders. While I am loath to keep Prowl waiting much longer, I cannot bring myself to leave before hearing more of Vitra's tale. There is much about the Void Gate that I cannot even begin to explain. I must convince Vitra to share everything he knows. Vitra speaks as if Adaja is a lost cause, but I wager he feels differently in his heart of hearts. This is quite a gathering. To what do we owe the pleasure? Have you business with the High Cubicle? I ask not to deter you from entering, for we welcome all those interested in the art of alchemy, but simply warn you not to get underfoot. I promise we will discuss the Void Gate further, but first I must attend to the matter of the Vault Sentinels. As your instruments have no doubt informed you, the Capiculu has been reduced to so much scrap. Please bring a new one out of storage to see that it is conveyed to its post along with some new, lesser constructs. Was it tomb robbers, friends born of Tower of Zot? By the sisters, do not tell me a blasphemy yet roams free. Why such guilty faces? Surely it isn't you who are responsible for this. Oh. Well, the details aren't important. I shall see it done immediately. And with that, the vaults will soon secure once more. Now I believe you had questions? Quite a few, in fact, but I'd like to begin with the gate itself. It is still functional, yes? Indeed, which is why I saw it sealed with an alchemically forged lock and warded it with my magics. Such power must not fall into the wrong hands. In truth, the primary reason for the vault's construction was to keep the gate hidden from the outside world. So much effort for such a little door. That little door you speak of leads to an abyss teeming with unspeakable horrors. That said, in its current state, it would admit only the lowliest of void sent, and from this side, no man would be able to pass through. No man, I should think Alphanode would fit, given a firm enough push. Physical size is only one consideration. The true restriction hinges upon the etheric density of the soul in transit. And yet you succeeded in expanding this diminutive portal and sending your really come to the 13th. Thanks to my brilliant alchemists, I should have destroyed the anomaly when I found it, but instead I bade them devise a means to control it. After much experimentation, they accomplished the impossible. A method was conceived by which my magics could manipulate the fissure and transform it into a serviceable gate. But the process has long since been forgotten. Once I had given up searching for Azdaja, there was no need to preserve such esoteric and dangerous knowledge. Thus has the gate lain dormant for years uncounted. Our own passage to the 13th was made relatively simple thanks to the Crystal Tower. An ancient mechanism channeled the tower's vast stores of energies to open the Void Gate, one bound to a covenant made with the Cloud of Darkness. Once their sovereign entity was beaten back, however, the covenant was broken, and the doorway severed from its connection to the Void. Theoretically, it should be possible to reconnect the gate by forging a new pact with another Void Sent, but such deals usually end in betrayal and death. In any case, we should attempt to gain an understanding of the Bounty Gate. Mayhap you could resume the search for your sister. As I have already explained, I put those futile hopes to rest centuries ago. My place and my duty is here now. And I had meant to ask, what prompted you to search for the vault in the first place? To see if the legends were true. As you have seen, the fabulous wealth from the stories is quite real, if not its rumored origin, but I'm afraid I must assert a prior claim. I've been adding to that trove for years, little by little. But the time has come to spend it, that I might alleviate my people's suffering. Then we are of one mind. We had no intention of taking it for ourselves. Isn't that right, my friend? Your Excellency, would you object if I were to conduct a closer examination of the gate? I will make no attempt to open it, of course. I owe you and yours a debt that can never be repaid. Whatever boon you ask of me, you shall have it. You are most gracious. I shall take full advantage of your permission. Would that I could join thee in thy study, but the Loperates will be anxious to receive my report. I beg my leave of you. And I must be off to Charlian as well. Mistress Kral was eager to speak with you about that request, so please come back to the annex as soon as you are able. Farewell for now. We can discuss my findings once I return. You'll not be rid of me so easily. You may now undertake the chronicle of a new era quest series, Myth of the Realm. Speak with the frustrated student and vast Nandic to accept the first quest. Myth of the Realm. Okay. That's cool. I hope you enjoyed the expedition at least, otherwise it was a heavy purse to pay for a treasure map leading to a treasure we couldn't keep. Very true. The difficult part in all of this will be deciding how best to put these riches to use. Will you lend me your assistance in these deliberations? Anything to make up for the constructs we broke. Then think of your employment as recompense. Serve me as guest advisors and I will consider the broken constructs paid for in full. Yo and I are in this together. I will follow her example. Meanwhile, elsewhere. Okay. Okay, so I have heard that Golbez is in this. That's all I know. I sensed the breaching of a gate, but it was not investigated from this side. 'Twas thrown open from another. Throne of Earth. Throne of Fire. I too felt it. A rare occurrence, yes, but such tiny portals is beneath our notice. There are more pressing matters at hand. An opportunity is upon us, the coming of which we have awaited for nigh on 10,000 years. We dare not let it slip our grasp. Throne of Wind. Yet we must not underestimate she who vested the cloud of darkness. Even restrained by a covenant, the cloud was no feeble wisp to be dispersed by some flesh and blood mortal. Bah, let her come, Throne of Water. I will drown the world and watch this fleshling gasp for breath in her final moments. Your zeal is admirable, but forget not our cause. Think back on our struggles beneath the sunless sky. Remember why we cede not our will to fight. Night in Black. 'Tis time we set war in motion and win redemption for our star. Well, that was cool. I hope you enjoyed the expedition, at least. Otherwise, it was heavy. Already read that. I have a lot of dye. I have a lot of materia. But it's not filled up yet. Shall we begin? If we are to spend the treasure wisely, then we must first determine which groups would benefit most from monetary assistance. Some of my citizens may find it intimidating to speak with the satrap directly, so I would ask that you act in my stead. Yo, you are here to visit. I quietly and Yidlamad. Speak with Matsia and his people and listen to their grievances. Estinian, I bid you do the same at Pakistan. I will be conducting my own inquiries at the Giant Skull grounds. Once you believe you have ascertained the needs of the populace, we can reconvene at Megan Duda. Oh, yo, I was glad to see you return unharmed. You finished with the boat then. Anything the village desperately needs. Well, I suppose Castle's loss hit us the hardest. I've been trying to find buyers for my fish, but although I sell a few here and there, it's so much more difficult than it was before. Everyone's still struggling to rebuild their lives. For now, we're just banding together as best we can. One second. I like leaving the selling to Kazel. I could just catch fish and not have to talk to people into eating them. Greetings and welcome, traveler. If this is your first visit to Thavner, then you must try my special Arma Lassie. Its refreshing zest cannot be beat. What could such a wonder cost, you wonder? Normally I part with 3 bottles for the generous price of 19,800 gil. But for you, I am willing to go as low as even 10,000. You'd be practically stealing from me. I am not Estinian. Estinian, who is this? Ah! You're the one who was with the spear-toting fellow. Well, you can hardly blame a man for trying. The world may no longer be on fire, but we are still sifting through the ashes, so to speak. Sisters, spare me. We might as well have that ugly tower back for the scant few travelers we see these days. I myself barely have the coin to buy at local prices. I tell you, if I didn't charge the odd adventurer a small fortune for afternoon tea, I'd be scavenging for scraps in the street. Times are lean, my friend. Are you sure you wouldn't care for a slightly overpriced lassie? Ah. How fares the port? Well, it's in shambles, isn't it? The trade routes are open once more now that the danger has passed, certainly, but no small number of merchants have had to sell their ships to make ends meet in the short term. Add that to the sailors we lost in the final days, and it's little wonder the flow of exports is no more than a pitiful trickle. If Kazel and his consortium were still with us, I'm sure he'd have found a way to turn our fortunes around. Now that was a man who got things done. God rest his soul. He has spoken with the key local figures and gained an understanding of the populace hardships. Barshan awaits your report at Maganduda. We'll scrape by for now, but what we really need is for someone to come in with a plan, and preferably some coin to spare. Twould seem my stint on Bertra's back did not go unnoticed. I couldn't take 2 steps before another Hanish local was thanking me profusely for saving their home. Ah, my advisor's return. I've just made it back myself. Why do you retain this vessel now that your true form is known? You could have flown across the island in a fraction of the time. Be that as it may, the sight of a massive creature descending from the sky can be startling to say the least, and there are a few places I can enter comfortably without risk of flattening some cart or stall. Fair enough. As for my inquiries, the people of Palkistan were unanimous in their reply. They are surviving. Resources were stretched to the limit when refugees were pouring in, but they preserved with some assistance from Yeldamild. From what I understand, they have always been an independent community, hunters and foragers and the like, and I was assured that the jungle provides for their needs for the most part. Pakistan has weathered the disaster better than most, it seems. I myself heard good news and bad. The quarrymen were cautiously optimistic, having just sold a full wagon of giant skull to a foreign trader, but such visitors are few and far between. Compared to our best years, the weight of a stone leaving Thavnir has been light indeed. Our nation is small and isolated, its prosperity dependent on a steady stream of exports. We must identify any obstacles to the flow of trade so we may begin working to remove them. Tell me, what did you learn in IOB and Yield the Mold? I see. Without a delicate buyer, the average fisherman must struggle to offload his daily catch. Which is why I believe we should first address the lack of ships and shortage of able-bodied soldiers and Yield the Mold. I am reminded as a child, I spied as I made my way back to the palace, his father lost at sea when the beast sunk their vessel. So many variations of the same tragic tale, repeated over and over, so many lives lost. Enough grief to drown in, if we let ourselves be overcome, but we will not. Yo, Estinian, I'll consider the perspectives you've brought me and devise a plan to help my people confront this adversity. Come, I would like you to be in attendance when I announce the proposal to my assembled functionaries.
I thank you for your attendance. The riches the Radiant Host have retrieved were hoarded in Alzadal's name. A fortune I set aside for a future day of need. And lo, that day hath come. May it aid our wounded city in reclaiming its vibrancy and vigor. In better times, I would leave such a task to our capable Ahawan. God's rest his soul. Finding myself bereft of his counsel in the here and now, I will assume the responsibilities of mine office directly. Firstly, the treasure shall be sold for more convenient currency. Thence, invested into the trading port of Yedlamad. Our merchants must have their operations restored, their ships rebuilt. Commerce must flow once more. None were spared the tragedy of the final days. Of this I am well aware. But an absence was created by the loss of Karazal's consortium. And by filling it, we provide new means for our fishermen, our artisans, and others to bring their wares to distant markets.
And what of the children who were left without family to care for them?
That is a concern which weigheth heavily upon my mind. A simple gift of coin will soon be exhausted, leaving these young souls adrift on the fringes of our society. Nay, a proper solution is needed, one which doth guarantee their welfare for years to come. Thou hast surely seen how other nations rise to meet this challenge, adventurer. What dost thou deem the wisest course?
taxes, levy them on trade profits in exchange for your investments. It takes a village. This is like the smart answer, but I don't think Yo-san is that smart with money. It takes a village.
Of course, we must all look out for one another. Let us put this idea into practice. A contract shall be written, requiring all who receive of Al-Zadal's treasure to commit a portion of their future earnings towards the running of an orphanage.
Okay, so taxes. Choices matter.
Now, such an influential policy is deserving of a worthy name.
Why not honor one of your most successful merchants?
A successful merchant? I believe I see thy reasoning. Kalzal should be remembered not as the blasphemy which terrorized Daphne, but as a hard-working and generous man who brought much wealth to our shores. Do any among you object to this proposition? Many here lost loved ones to the beasts.
In that time of strife, any one of us could have broken. Any one of us may have been taken by despair. When I think of Kalzal, I feel no hatred. Only a stinging regret that we could not save him as well. Isn't that right, men?
This bodes well for that boy. Narad was it? Perhaps he can cut ties with that shady peddler.
Then let it be done. Henceforth, this initiative shall be known as the Kalzal Foundation. Nadine, thou art to assemble a patrol and ensure that no child in this city liveth in squalor. Clerks, see to the management of our funds and make haste. Our citizens must not suffer a day more than is necessary.
Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. Ishka. Dragon and man, side by side in pursuit of a brighter morrow. I'm reminded of Ishgard.
Petra is warming to his role as satrap. Clearly all those years behind the curtain were not spent napping. Thank you for putting forth Kazal's name. Those whose lives enriched will take comfort in seeing his legacy honored. You will forgive me for not speaking sooner, but I bear a message from Archon Yastola. She asks that you meet her at the High Cubicle at your earliest convenience. Understood. Thank you. Yastola must have finished her study of the Void Gate. Shall we hear what she has to say then? I will go with you. I thought the satrap would be too busy setting up the foundation. My clerks have been the well-oiled cogs of this administration since before Ahwan assumed the office. They understand what needs to be done, and I am curious to learn what conclusions your archons have reached concerning the gate's unique construction. As you wish, allow me to lead the way, Your Excellency. You can find your way to the High Cubicle, I trust. I must rejoin my union and assist with bringing the city orphans under our care. Shall we hear what your scholarly comrade has to say? For one who claims it is too late to save his sister, Petra seems awfully interested in whatever revelations Yastrola might have to share.
Right, here we all are.
You discovered something new.
I took a closer look at that device. I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the open. Right, here we all are. For that, I would need to reference
You
the
discovered
technique
something new.
developed by Vitre's alchemists. No records of which
I took a
appear
closer
to
look at
survive
that
the
device.
intervening years.
I was able to determine how it keeps the Void Gate sealed, but not how it might instead be employed to expand the opening.
send for us? Learned aught of value or not?
For that, I would need to reference the technique developed by Vitre's alchemists. Patience, good sir. One must introduce the subject before launching into specifics. From what we understand, travel between worlds is accomplished by passing through the nebulous rift which exists between them. Picture, if you will, the moment you were called to the first. You touched a focus of some kind to help the Exarch pinpoint your location. His summoning spell then channeled the energies of the Crystal Tower to begin your journey to his world. the magics tore a hole in the wall separating source and shard, and cast you into the intervening nothingness. In that place, the laws of nature hold no sway. Yet even through this realm of temporal and spatial instability, you were borne safely to your destination in the first. The feat that guided you across such an unimaginable distance, both physical and metaphorical, was nothing short of a miracle.
Then what of the many voids sent found in the source? Who guides them here, and how?
An excellent question. Though there are several methods by which the Void's denizens might intrude upon our world, the rituals of summoning are the most typical. For example, let us consider the Gargoyle, a creature of middling power. To call upon such an entity, the prospective summoner must force open a void gate. The portal lasts but a moment and is relatively small, allowing only an imp or other lesser being to squeeze through with their physical body intact. Our more powerful gargoyle, however, is too large for that. Creating a gate big enough for him would require vast amounts of energy, far beyond the reserves of any one mortal practitioner. Instead, 'tis far more common to bring over only the entity's soul. We had a taste of that ourselves when a certain exarch dragged us to the first. And just as our bodies remained in our world, the Void Sense physical form is left behind in the 13th. Once at its destination, the summoned soul is granted a temporary shell to inhabit. In the gargoyle's case, a stone effigy has proven a suitable vessel.
Wait. You said that Voidsent must be called here deliberately by someone in the source, reeled in like a fisherman with his catch.
Exactly. For a being to navigate the chaos of the rift, with or without form, there must needs be a guiding agent on the other side.
When the hordes poured forth from Alag's Great Gate, it was the technologists who drew them through. Though to my knowledge, planar fissures are in essence natural passages between our world and the void, which require no such guidance to traverse. Why is only the boundary between the Source and the 13th so fragile? So much so that it often tears open of its own accord.
I believe solving that mystery is key to understanding travel between the Source and its reflections.
And how do you intend to get your answers?
No. The danger is too great.
Perhaps. But what some call danger, others think of as adventure.
Are you not listening to my tale? Never mind that the means to expand the gate has been lost to the ages. Even could you force the portal wide enough, you would be greeted by an army of murderous horrors the very instant you step through.
I assure you I was most attentive. And I agree that to go alone would be certain death. But if I were to bring along one who has already braved the 13th, and humbled the Cloud of Darkness, well, I imagine my chances will be much improved.
Come in.
I had a feeling you might say that. Once again, I put my life in your ever-reliable hands. That said, as much as I would like to march straight back to the Void Gate, there is the small matter of being unable to open it without the Satrap's personal authority.
As I've said before, I will grant you and yours any boon you choose to name, provided it does not endanger my people.
You have my word that we will take every precaution. Not a single void scent will be allowed to threaten Razat Han, assuming we manage to expand the portal in the first place.
You have a plan.
Actually, I had hoped you might help us with that. I presume the alchemists you retained supplied you with some explanation of their methodology.
That they did. House Daimir was overseeing the project.
Daimir. Ah, yes. The family associated with the great work.
I did not fully comprehend the theory, but their research began with a void scent which had slipped through the fissure. After a thorough examination, they created an arcane simulacrum possessed of similar qualities. A man-made void scent, if you will. It was apparently indispensable in their efforts to enlarge the gate.
A man-made void scent.
Yes. Being great admirers of the Archons, House Daimir submitted detailed notes to Charlene's official committee. They expected praise and accolades for the simulacrum, and were thus devastated to be informed that their work had been classified as prohibited material.
If that's true, then those notes might still be stored in a forbidden archive somewhere. Not Google, of course, since that library had yet to be built. Which leaves us with...
With what?
Have you already forgotten Graha's debacle in Numenor? The restricted section where he was caught sneaking about? It may very well hold a copy of the Daemir's documentation.
Uh,
In which case, I say we head directly to Charlian.
Unless you anticipate needing help to reach the high shelf, I see myself being of little use. Go on ahead. Still need to find Mirad and tell him about the Kalzal Foundation.
Let us be on our way as well.
They are resolved to venture into the void. Do I sit idly by?
if we were to enter restricted archives with a minimum of fuss, then we must secure the permission of the Forum. First, however, we shall heed to enlist the cooperation of a member to broach the matter on our behalf. Who do you think might be inclined to assist us? No one springs to mind. What of Scarlar Montague? He did come to Graha's defense during the inquiry, after all. Excuse me. 'Tis subtle. Let us head to Phenomenon and see if he's willing to help us once more. Stolen the party. If I was pressed to name our allies in the Forum, Scarlar Matigain would certainly be at the top of the list. Hopefully he agrees to aid us with our requests. Might as well walk there. Will that let me through? No, it will not. Actually, how are you doing? Really? You ready for another round of Aetheryte testing? Then please, by all means, let's get whisked away to Thavnir before you come to your senses. Ew. Okay. So I have to go around. Wait, no. One sec. I apprenticed to Master Matoria at the age of 7 and labored under her tutelage for a full decade. I never had the chance to attend the studium. Neither did Thancred, as I recall. Soon after Master Louisoix took him in off the streets, he was put in the care of another Archon. He was a rigorous and practical education in the arts of espionage and survival. I sometimes wonder what my life might have been like had I pursued studies here instead. Tea at the last stand after a days of lectures. Should I wonder as well? Oh, never mind me. 'Twas just an idle thought. Tea at the last stand of lectures. Oh, that does sound lovely. Afternoons with friends spent sipping tea and debating theories. Still, I wouldn't give up my time with Master Matoya for the world. The dank cave I studied in was about as far from the bright airy halls of academia as one could get. But it was a wondrous magical childhood nonetheless. Ah, visitors, and quite esteemed ones at that. What may I do for you? Pray forgive the intrusion, Scholar, but we were hoping you might help us secure permission to enter Numeron's restricted archives. Oh, no further forays into the stacks this time, eh? I applaud the newfound sense of propriety, yet in all this wide world of comparative serenity, what so compels you to disturb a vault of forbidden wisdom? Fascinating. I had no idea such a technique existed. I wouldn't have been surprised if you had. If my assumption is correct, the research left behind by House Damer has lain dormant in Charlene's archives for many centuries. And if you unearth this research, what then? Surely you don't intend to cross over into the void. That is, in fact, precisely what we intend. To what end, pray tell? To develop a method of traversing the rift, for one, that I might keep my word to a distant friend. Some sentiment aside, I have journeyed to the end of existence. I have heard, felt, and thought endlessly about the truth of our world and the echo of its future. And yet, I want to understand everything, to unravel it all down to its very last secret. What scholar worthy of the name wouldn't force open a void gate or two if a grand revelation was the promised reward? Ah, marvelous. An audacious proposal worthy of Master Matoya herself. And after hearing the whys and wherefores, I for one do not believe you would use the knowledge for ill. I see no reason not to present your request for the forum's consideration. Although, your petition would be better received if you also had the support of another well-placed acquaintance. Why, Master Forchant, of course. He can hardly ignore an earnest request from his dear children's most treasured comrades. I was hesitant to approach him directly, but there is no denying that having Master Forchant on our side would tip the balance in our favor. Very well, we will pay a visit to the 11-year estate and plead our case. One last thing before you go. I would consider it a personal favor if you might share with me the discoveries you make in the void. My appetite for knowledge is every bit as insatiable as yours, I'd wager. So if you could see your way to indulging an old man's curiosity. Of course, Scholar, we will be sure to pass on any revelations. The forum can be a cantankerous beast. One needs a persuasive voice to get it moving in the desired direction. Montagut seemed optimistic, but I doubt convincing Forchant to champion our cause will be as simple as showing up on his doorstep. That's awesome. Alright. That's nice. Venom symbiote to get a invite. Still no free company though. Oh my god, let my cat out. There you go. Got this. Mistress Yo, Mistress Justola, how may I be of service? We've come to speak with Master Forchant. Is he home by any chance? Yes, the master is in the residence. I shall inform him that he has guests. Well, Ambience would invite you inside for... Almelians would invite you inside for tea, but I assume this is not a social visit. You have some matter of import to discuss? Then pray proceed. You have my full attention. Well, I suppose I should praise you for following the proper protocols this time around. Scholar Montegane expressed much the same sentiment, I assure you. Will not attempt to circumvent the forum's authority again, unless it is absolutely necessary, of course. Of course. You do understand that the restricted archives are restricted for good reason, yes? If no pressing need exists, then why risk the consequences of employing this forbidden knowledge? For a brother who misses his sister, she was his guardian and his friend. A selfless hero who crossed the rift between worlds to save her homeland from horror and suffering. But the brother had given up on thoughts of reunion. He spends his efforts elsewhere, watching over a people yet healing from the flames of the final days, loyal to his duty while betraying the longing in his heart. 'Tis no vital mission perhaps reuniting these siblings, but it feels a worthy cause to pursue all the same. As one who feared losing his own loved ones, and spent years in research to prevent it, surely you will appreciate how painful such a separation must be. Reflections are still very much a mystery to us. Offering to share your experiences in the first should constitute a fair exchange for our cooperation. Do not celebrate just yet. The forum must still be convinced. I will add your request to the list of today's deliberations and deliver the decision to you at ballots and annex. Please do come again. We are always glad to receive such close companions of the twins. The matter is out of our hands. All that remains is to return to the annex and await word of the forum's decisions. Let's open up. Yeah. Anything? No. Okay. Just gonna teleport back then. Wait. Cool, that's there. Cool to have you stroll in the party. So, what did the forum decide? To put it bluntly, Master Vittoria has burned some bridges here in Charlian, and salted the earth for good measure. When it became clear that her student was the petitioner in question, well, no few members voiced their discontent. Then the chamber was reminded in no uncertain terms, I might add, of the incredible debt we owe to you and your companions. That served to silence the grumbles and stiffen a few spines. It was agreed that allowing you entry to the archives was the least we could do in return. That is wonderful news. Thank you both for speaking on our behalf. Yes, well, as I am sure you are aware, this permission was not extended lightly. Forbidden knowledge is to be treated with the utmost caution, and there will be repercussions if it is not. I wish you well in your endeavor, and bid you a good day. Ever the same, that one. Uncompromising. Aye, but the very stoicism is exactly what Charlian needed to guide it through not one but two Exodiuses. If I were but 5 years younger, I'd cast aside my lectern and join you on your adventures in a heartbeat. Then that went rather well, I think. As a child, I dreamt up any number of schemes for getting my hands on those forbidden tomes, and now I can simply walk in through the door. Our focus will be on finding House Delamere's research notes, of course, but the thought of so much knowledge at my disposal has me feeling a little giddy. I'd like to set out as soon as you're ready. You'll be heading directly to the archives from here, I presume. You're presumed correctly. Then you'll want to speak with the index page when you arrive. It's been instructed to grant you access to the restricted section. Excellent. Once again, we thank you for all your help. Oh, it was my pleasure, believe me. May you find the knowledge you seek. Shall we? Come along, yo. Numenon and its forbidden wisdom awaits. Okay, I'll come back to you. That looks important. Pudding way. I guess my pudding wasn't needed to stop the final days after all, but I persevere. Once people taste it, they'll be even happier than they were before the apocalypse started. I just know it. To think the set of instructions I laughably imagine may actually exist, but yalms away from where you found me napping. If I had known of Adsel III's exploits sooner, I could well have saved myself days of research. Even a children's book might have pointed me in the right direction. To achieve the impossible, one must needs be flexible of mind and look beyond conventional wisdom, a lesson I had already learned but clearly not taken to heart. Boy. Archon, Yastola, and guests identified. Do you wish to proceed into the restricted archives? Oh, they talk like, Gigi. Gigi. Yeah. Or Vivi, depending on how you look at them. Follow me, if you would. Watch your step, and please note that the use of naked flame is discouraged. Wow.
If House Damia's notes are to be found anywhere, it will be here. Let us begin.
Oh, I get to have lore. Yes. So many books I have yet to read. Yes, we are here for one specific volume. You needn't remind me. I'm the same way. Untold Goldsmith's Journal. Today, in a world not my own, I met the most beautiful void-born creature. She was so unlike her ravenous brethren, eyes blazing not with hunger but with trembling, like a candle's flame, threatening to flicker out at any moment. I wonder if she is even the proper word. Such distinctions seem inconsequential, insignificant even. All that matters is the love I feel for this exquisite, transcendent being. Though you are tempted to read more, this does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. Okay. And there's no more down here. No more hidden ones. Okay. Weighty tome. Leather-bound log. I assume I'll be able to read all three anyway. In the year Primal Disquisitions. In the year 1564 of the 6th Astral Era, the Amaljas summoned Infrit, their Patreon god. Accounts describe the being as a gigantic lizard-like being with a neck with a potent command of fire-aspected magics. If we consider that primal summoning is an act fueled by faith and prayer, it is unsurprising, if not expected, that the resulting deiform entity should manifest the appearance and powers with which it is attributed by its worshippers. What then might emerge from the ether should one who believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? What then might emerge from the ether should one who believes in an almighty omniscience attempt the same ritual? Would the scholar himself grace us with his presence? Some other embodiment of divine stagnancy? Could this man-made God truly be all-knowing? And if it were, whence would such knowledge arise? I myself have many questions concerning the nature of the ancient world. With no spell to transport me back to the days of old, could I instead summon a being possessed of encyclopedia wisdom of every age? Yet, with no means to verify its pronouncements, how could one be certain they were true? Though your mind spins with the possibilities discussed therein, there does not seem to be the volume you are seeking. 1 second. Go back in. See your option. Alright. Okay. Yeah. The following pages detail an advanced method for manipulating rift-spanning apertures as devised by Nashuan, the ninth patriarch of House Demir. We present these research notes to the facility of Charlian Studium as both a token of our friendship and an expression of our boundless admiration. You appear to have located the forbidden volume you seek. Yashala will need to make the final confirmation. Yeah. Job. Here. Do you want outside, cat? Or do you just want to chill? Yeah, don't rub against my laptop, cat. No rubbing against. Okay. There you go. No. Yes. Thank you, Kumabot Defender, as always. Here, you want to go outside? Alright. Sorry, just playing with my cat. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be right back. Here.
Right?
Yeah.
Guy next door says he spent $40 on parts.
Okay. Already reimbursed?
What?
Is he already reimbursed?
No, not yet.
Alright, where's Lynn? Okay. Well, that's true, Lynn. I could text her now. But, yeah, I'll talk to her.
We can probably wait.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Oh, do you need me, this week, Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, possibly Wednesday I have it off for dinner, but you have other things planned around it.
I do have an appointment at 2:50 p.m., but that's it. Someone else is asking me at time, but I don't know what or what. Gotta figure that out.
Okay.
But,
It's just, after like 6:30
okay.
for a while.
Alright. Close my door. I know. They're working on the place. Let's see what time. It's 2:18. 2:45. I'll stop. Okay, and I'm back. Hey. Have something you'd like to show me, do you? My apologies, I flipped open but a single book and was completely absorbed by the content. Well done, yo. I think you may have found our prize.
Yes, the ether signature is unmistakable. I've felt the traces of House Damia's resonance many times at the Great Work. Time to see what all the fuss was about.
Well,
Among the ranks of the Voidsent, there exist entities with the power to call forth their brethren from beyond. The species known as Atomos, however, is uniquely prodigious in this regard. From its distended maw, it can expel an endless procession of void-born creatures. A talent which sorely tested the Radiant Host in its battles against these abominations. Surmising that the entity itself was acting as a void gate, we endeavored to capture a small specimen and subsequently examine its physiological structure. Our findings reveal that the Atomos had absorbed a planar fissure into its own flesh, which it could expand at will into a functioning gate. Upon further analysis, we identified an ethereal wave pattern emitted during this process. A pattern we were able to emulate by passing crystal-stored ether through a specially designed prism. We proceeded to embed said prism into an arcane simulacrum, thus completing what we have dubbed our artificial Atomos. How could I have been so blind to the possibilities? This species, not to mention its ability to summon Voidsent, has been discussed among academics for years now. Just before the advent of the 7th Umbral Calamity, we received reports of Atomos sightings from every corner of Eorzea. Surely you've at least heard the tales. And still, House Damia went and built a mock Atomos of their very own. I'm not surprised the Archons consigned their work to a restricted archive.
Ew.
It was no easy task, but at last we've unearthed the volume we've been searching for. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to stay longer. See what other forbidden titles might be lurking on these shelves. Ah, but that would be abusing the very special privilege we've been granted now, wouldn't it? Better not.
No, I want to read more. Oh well. Another time. Congratulations on locating the object of your search. Please move along. As much as I would love to start crafting the Atomos, I'm afraid this is as far as my field is far outside my field of expertise. Fortunately, we know a Hanish alchemist who would be delighted to involve herself in our House Demir project. Our business here is concluded for the moment. Please pass on our regards to the forum. Your message will be conveyed should you wish to indulge in more forbidden literature. I'll be patron mode disabled, security mode engaged. If anyone can help us, Nidhana can. I say we return to Davmir and look for her at the great work. All these Silo's sleep-deprived faces, but their eyes still burn with fiery zeal. Some things never change. Your Stola tells me you are pursuing a most fascinating study, and that you want me to be a part of it. I have no doubt you will be interested. This research log should speak for itself. Will it now? By the sisters, this is the mark of House Damir. I never even knew such a work existed. You should. It was sequestered in Nunlan's restricted archives after all. It was, but that means every word within is forbidden knowledge. A forbidden tome filled with forbidden research, and you put it right into my unsuspecting hands. I can hardly wait to read it. Yeah. To think that Damir were developing such marvelous techniques so long ago. How many innovations have been lost over centuries, I wonder. Now that you've glanced over the notes, what say you helping us build a new mock Atomos? I say yes, 1,000 times yes. Work on a Demir project that had even the rebuttal scholars of Charlian trembling in their sandals. No alchemist of great work could resist. You are a woman after my own heart. Oh, I suppose I should ask, what do you mean to do with this big mouse simmer curriculum once we've built it? So there's a secret void gate, and it's sealed in the ruins at the bottom of the bounty. Today is a day of revelations indeed. If the purpose of our man-made Atomos is to expand this hidden portal, then I will need to see it for myself, I think. Manipulating rift-spanning apertures is not the sort of thing you want to attempt without first taking into account every single factor. Then by all means accompany us through the vault. I plan to lead us back there shortly, once we've finished gathering the components I require. Charlaine's markets provided the raw aquamarine and pure water crystals, but I might need help obtaining a small quantity of astrally infused water. For such a liquid, you need go no further than the font of Maya. The aesthetics of old once favored the place for their meditations, and the water which pools there now is known to enliven the flow of ether. That sounds perfect. If you would be so kind as to fill a flask at the pool, I will petition Vitro to join us. The idea I have in mind won't amount to much without his authority to command the Void Gate. Shall we be about it then? Will we meet back here anon? Ah, there's no greater joy than having a new puzzle to ponder. Lying in the rain. The boy, Merhead, was glad to hear the news of the Foundation. It means a new life for him and his sister. Archon Ystrola requested that I join you, but of her plans she offered scant detail. Oh, I forgot to mention, the font of Maya's attraction, aggressive wildlife, and you should watch out for them when you go there next time. My apologies. Do you have the flask for me? Yes, this should suffice. Thank you, Yo. Look who I came across. Estinians seem in need of a diversion, and we are in turn may have need of his lance. Right then, now that our little party is assembled, let us make our way to the ruins. We will have need of Matsuya's boat again? Not this time. Once Yastrola informed me of our destination, I arranged for a vessel to be made ready at Alkali. Your Excellency is ever gracious, is ever the gracious host, shall we? And all this time I thought the tales of Asol's horde were no more than drunken sailor fancies. You need not keep your weapons close at hand. The guardians will not attack if I am present, so I pray you leave them be. Onto the boat, if you please. We can chat on the way there. 'Tis likely not needed with Vertra along, but I held on to the map against the chance we might return to the ruins. The ship is yours to command. Oh, thanks. We sail at once. Oh, this is exciting. Azadel's legacy, to see the truth of the legend with mine own eyes. All aboard for the treasure vault. He laid waste to them ere I could utter a single word. I thought we cleared this place of constructs the last time we came through. 'Twould seem as few stragglers remained. Poor Vitra, he really should have spoken with Estinian before we left. I shudder to think what we've cost them in terms of construct materials.
The ruins alone were impressive enough, but I never dreamed such a treasure lay hidden in the depths of the bounty. It may have been helpful to know this device existed, Your Excellency.
My apologies. The gate was a secret I shared with none but my closest advisors. I feared for what might happen should those with ill intentions learn of its existence.
What is it you're doing now?
There's something I wish to verify. The NOAA reports claim that a short stint into the void carries little risk of etheric imbalance. Should one suffer an injury, however, or if one's expedition drags on longer than intended, that risk becomes significantly greater. Graha theorized that a warding scale would confer protection from the void's corrupting influence, but I would prefer to test that hypothesis before we set foot in the 13th ourselves.
So, this is an experiment of sorts.
Yes, an experiment. Tell me, how would you go about testing the efficacy of the warding scale?
Say nothing and look meaningfully at Estinian.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Surely you'd not expect me to wriggle through that tiny portal.
We needn't attempt anything so drastic. A small familiar should serve well enough. Now, a lowly imp can navigate a fissure, no matter how narrow. Which means an arcane entity of similar stature should be able to manage the same. I hadn't wanted it to come to this, but no other familiars will do, I'm afraid.
I mislike the sound of that. What manner of fiend does she mean to summon?
From ocean rise and cloudbank form, from mountain spring and rainfall storm, from river flow and life be born. Water, water, froth and fire!
Wow.
Ready your arms. I fear she's been possessed.
Oh, come now, that was adorable.
Water, water, froth and foam! Time to play!
Though not my first choice. These familiars I conceived of as a child have the best chance of fitting through the gate. I only wish my younger self had considered a more dignified ending to the creation ritual. In any case, these two should serve as well. This one will bear a warding scale. And when they return from the 13th, we can observe how the talisman, or absence thereof, has affected the progress of the Void's corruption. If I could impose upon you to open the gate. Your Excellency?
Ah, yes, of course.
We should also be wary of void scent slipping through while we conduct our experiment. Estinian, you are to keep Nadana safe from harm.
As you say.
You had best be on your guard as well.
Froth and foam.
Oh, are you volunteering to join the Nixies? I could shrink you down, you know. Let us begin, shall we? pixies, into the void.
Okay. And I'm gonna call it here because I have to give a ride. But I'll be back later to stream. So yeah. Thanks for watching. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.